Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's bulk registration for the SAT webinar. We're excited to be entering another year of delivering the SAT in Idaho in partnership with the Idaho State Department of Education. I'm Eddie Pulaski, Director of Outreach and Implementation and one of the College Board Idaho field team members. Joining me on the webinar today is Melanie Jones from the State Department of Education and Sharon Callie from the College Board. We have a lot of information to share on this webinar, and we look forward to the collaborative effort for the spring SAT School Day Administration for 2019. Please note that this webinar is being recorded, and a link will be provided after the webinar is completed. So, all right, let's begin. Today's agenda includes a high-level overview of the bulk registration tool, bulk registration deadlines, preparing the bulk registration file, uploading your file, making changes and fixing errors and warnings, and then, of course, next steps. So what does the bulk registration tool actually do? Bulk registration is required for the Idaho SAT School Day Administration, and it allows districts and schools that participate in the Idaho SAT School Day Administration in April to pre-identify students electronically and securely for the administration. The bulk registration file helps report accurate student accounting back to the Idaho Department of Education and creates pre-ID files that will be affixed to the student's answer sheet and also helps create cleaner reporting of the data. So what are some of the key deadlines? All schools or districts are required to use the bulk registration system for registering students. Schools will not order test materials through the College Board test ordering system. The bulk registration tool will be open from January the 7th through January 16th, 2019. All bulk registration should be completed by the end of the day on January 16th. Pre-ID labels will then be received between March 1st and March 8th, 2019. And please be aware, if you go to the College Board's website about bulk registration, dates you find may not necessarily be applicable to the Idaho Provided School Day Administration. So we ask you to follow the dates that we'll be sharing with you today and in future communications. All test coordinators will receive the information to access the bulk registration system. An access code is needed for the bulk registration tool. The bulk registration coordinator who is designated on the annual site intake form will receive that access code number coming up in the next week. The file can be uploaded by a school-level staff member with one school in the file or by a district-level designee with multiple schools in the file. Please remember that SDE will not be uploading on behalf of schools or districts. Also, please remember that the use of Clever cannot be supported in the submission of the bulk registration file for state contracts. How do you prepare the bulk registration file? Well, first, to access the templates and the file specifications, please go to the website that you see on the screen, bulkreg.collegeboard.org, and click Getting Started. File templates in Excel or comma-separated value or CSV are available. Use the bulk registration file specifications to know about each field in the template. No access is needed to obtain the templates or the file specifications. Download the file template and identify students that will be testing. Do not change the template as all the fields and column headers must remain as they are in the template. You should pull the required data elements in order to prepare your file, particularly the state ID or the EDU ID. We ask you to download the file specifications and use in order to understand the required versus optional fields, the maximum length of fields, and the valid values for each field. There are three fields for the student ID: the state student ID, district student ID, and the school student ID. For SAT bulk registration for school day for spring 2019, please enter each student's EDU ID in the state student ID, the district student ID, and the school student ID fields. And again, we'll repeat that. We ask you to enter each student's EDU ID number in the state student ID, the district student ID, and the school student ID fields. If your students do not have valid EDU IDs due to being new, please contact your district ISEE coordinator. And if you have questions about student eligibility to take the SAT on school day, we ask that you contact Melanie Jones at the Department of Education for assistance. Let's talk quickly about a common error and use an example that's found in the date of birth field. The date of birth should be entered as month, month, day, day, year, 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 which is made up of 8 numbers without extra characters. If 7 numbers are provided, the system will automatically insert a leading 0 and generate a warning in the system. So how do you upload your file? Well, here's a quick step-by-step outline. Access codes are required to link your College Board professional account to the bulk registration tool. If you submitted the bulk registration file in the fall, you should already have your access. If you can't access the system or you're new to using the bulk registration tool, an access code will be provided. Codes will be emailed to the test coordinators and/or the district test coordinator. We recommend coordinating with your district testing coordinator to determine who will complete the upload. In districts with more than one school, it's often easier to have one person submit the data for all schools in the district. Regardless of who does the bulk upload, bulk registration coordinators need a College Board professional account to access the tool. If you don't already have an account, go to www.collegeboard.org to sign up for one. If you already have one, you don't need a new one. Check your dashboard for bulk registration and pre-ID tool listed under My Tools. If that's present, click the link to access the tool. If it is not present, scroll to the bottom of the page to add additional tools and services and expand the K-12 section. Select Get Access next to the bulk registration and pre-ID label tool. Select the professional organization that matches the organization name that you were given in the email containing your access code. It may be your district name, but it could also be your school name. Enter the 6-letter access code you received in the email and then click Add. To log in once your account is linked to the bulk registration tool, go back to the dashboard of your professional account. Under My Tools and Services, click the bulk registration and pre-ID label tool. From the bulk registration tool dashboard, click Create New Request. Choose the date of your SAT administration. Select the box next to the date. Upload that file that was created using the template, and then click Submit. The file will go through a validation process. The time it takes depends on the size of the file, but usually occurs within 1 hour. You can follow the progress of the validations on the dashboard. Sometimes the bulk registration upload will have errors or warnings, or changes will need to be made. So if you receive a message that you have errors, click View Request Details for information on how many errors and warnings you have in the file. If the validation fails, you'll have the opportunity to make changes. You can either upload a brand new file or fix errors and warnings within the tool itself. Errors must be fixed before the file can be submitted. Warnings are not required to be fixed, but should at least be reviewed. If changes can be made, it's recommended that they be done. One way to make corrections is through the tool itself. To do so, click Fix Errors and Warnings. So in this example, there are a total of 28 errors, 13 of the errors caused by an incorrect AI code, where the code in the file doesn't match the College Board records for your school. You can include the correct AI in the box above in the field and apply this entry to all records, or you could make individual changes depending on the error. Follow the directions on the screen to go to the next error. Warnings should be reviewed to determine if changes need to be made, and always make sure to save your changes. Once you fix the errors and warnings, the file must be revalidated after the changes are made. If you have numerous errors that are difficult to fix in the tool, it may be easier to fix in the spreadsheet and try over again. Simply choose Upload Full Replacement File and resubmit, and the process will begin again. The use of Clever is not supported for the SAT School Day for this bulk upload process. Please remember that the process is only complete when Submit Request has been clicked. Some people forget this step, so please make sure to click Submit Request when you're completed. You're only complete when you see Done in the progress bar and the status bar has changed to In Fulfillment. Bulk registration coordinators will receive an email that indicates that your order is in fulfillment. So what are the next steps? Well, during the month of December, we encourage you to review your enrolled student list to ensure all students have EDU IDs. If your students do not have valid EDU IDs due to being new, please request that information from your district ISEE coordinator. If you have questions about student eligibility to take the SAT on school day, we ask that you contact Melanie Jones at the Department of Education for assistance. We also ask that you review the resource materials. There's resource material available in the bulk registration tool under bulkreg.collegeboard.org. You can click Help on the dashboard. You can view tutorials, and frequently asked questions are also available. And you can review the resource materials that are available. In January, you should prepare your file for your upload and upload the bulk registration file between January the 6th and January 7th and January 16th, 2019. Again, that file should be submitted between January 7th and January 16th, 2019. Students who are eligible to test but did not make it into the bulk upload can still test on test day if you ordered enough materials. For these students, there will be no pre-ID label. These students will need to grid all information on their answer sheet. When testing is completed, review that students completed all required fields and verify the school AI code, the grade level, and the EDI UID numbers are correct.